Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. I'm really excited to be joined by hip hop royalty here, B-Smoove, brand ambassador for True Legacy Vodka. Thank you, up here in the house. Man, tell us what you're up to these days. I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah, so much, man. Where do I start? Oh, man, yeah, I'm doing a lot. Obviously, like you said, the brand ambassador for True Legacy Vodka. You know, we're working on a lot of big things this year, creativity and just being as a, you know, having a black-owned product on the shelf and to be able to expose the market and to do good with it and, you know, to kind of to create your own, like, the meaning behind your product. You feel me? Like, a lot of people have alcohols, but we don't know the meaning behind them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So being behind True Legacy Vodka, you know, having that meaning behind it and what it stands for is definitely important for me. So, you know, we got a lot of big things in the work, man, and we've been making a lot of strides so far as an independent company, for sure.
Sounds good.
Shout out to Big Percy.
Exactly, Big Percy.
Phoenix, you know what I'm saying, the squad.
Yeah. Let's roll back the clock a little bit and talk about sort of how you got started, because first it was really, I think, the music. Yeah, the music. And tell us about your love of that, your passion, and some of your inspirations.
Yeah, well, the music is, everybody know me from, B-Smoove, you know. I started back in my first EP I dropped was with Kid Capri back in '99. You feel me? And I just been consistent after that. I think I dropped my first album 2001. After that, then 2000, like we going back. So I've been doing this for like 15, 20 plus. So it's like I dropped about 4 albums. And I had about 2 or 3 projects in between that that I was doing, like mixtapes and stuff like that for the city. But just staying relevant in the game, you know, always been a businessman. So just end up transitioning from being a performer and an artist to being a writer. I did a lot of stuff for television, wrote music for TV shows and stuff like that. So movies, etc. So, you know, just learning the business and being able to make that transition.
Absolutely. Talk to us about that versatility and also that willingness to not always feel like, okay, I've got to be in front of the camera. Sometimes I can make as much money or some key moves behind the camera.
I kind of felt that early on. Like, I just felt like when I was like trying to get in the game, I was seeing how things was happening and things I had to go to try to get to be on the forefront, you know, as an artist. You know, you go through so much, man. So many politics involved, and sometimes it's like, you know, you get tired of just kind of being in that race. So I just kind of said, you know what, I'm gonna transition myself as a brand, because I always built B-Smoove to be a brand anyway. You know, it was just like, okay, B-Smoove the rapper, but then I worked hard enough to create that brand for that space. So now once it became a brand name, it's like, okay, I can sell clothes now. So I created a clothing company, Pushover Clothing. So I let my clothing be my brand. I wear my own stuff. And then I actually marketed it to all my celebrity friends, and they supported me, and the brand grew, the clothing line grew, and it took me to another level. Then I just creatively came up with other things inside of that, you know. I invented a product called Ball Locker. Yeah, it's a tech product. So I transitioned to that, and then after that I created a brand, which is All Facts Branding. So,
and I know it may seem obvious, but define for us sort of really what that means, because I think a lot of times we throw a word like, you know, you've got to define yourself and think of yourself as a brand. Like, what really is that, and what advice would you give to a young person sort of coming up today? It's like, okay, hey, he seems to be doing well, he transitioned a lot, I want to do that too, but what exactly is that, and how do I kind of transition, you know, and define a brand for myself?
Yeah, I think it's a way you go about marketing yourself, your talent, and whatever your gift is. You know, you have to have consistency. You have to be dependable, and you have to know how to be able to work with all facets. You know, in all facets. You know, and be able to like develop relationships. And it takes time, because you can't just develop a brand overnight. You know. You can have a name for yourself, but that's not a brand. A brand is basically, I look at it as something that if I was to stop, like me, if I stop rapping, would B-Smoove name still be relevant?
Okay.
You see what I mean? So it's like Jordan stopped playing basketball, but Jordan name is still relevant. You see what I mean? Like the brand is there because of the work he put in over the years, the consistency he's shown, and how he built his value up. So when people idolize your value and what you did in your market space, that creates that brand for you.
Sure. What gives you drive and passion each day to sort of go out there and make it happen?
Man, I think it's my passion and love for just wanting to see people do better. Like, you know, I always know what I'm capable of doing, but I thrive off of helping people. You know, it's one of my gifts. I think, you know, my mom has that, my dad has that, and I just think it's a part of who I am. Like, being able to see people not make the same mistakes that I did, you know, to try to be successful. Because a lot of people don't know the way. There's not a blueprint book that we can buy to show you how to get in the industry, you know. So especially nowadays with social media is a big tool. So it's just a way of figuring it out and saying, you know, I'm not going to sell myself out for this popularity or for these numbers or, you know, stuff like that.
Sure. What might be one of those pearls, if you don't mind, you know, sharing, that you're like, gosh, here was something I really learned. Maybe I learned the hard way or indirectly, or somebody whispered in my ear. But I'd love to pass that on to somebody that might be coming up in the game and not realizing.
I'll give you a pearl that my OG Big A gave me is to, you know, make sure you do everything with good intentions. You know, because people can see that and then it travels. You see what I mean? Like, people can, you know, they'll watch you and try to figure out and scope you and make sure that you don't, you know, you ain't got no hidden agendas, basically. So make sure you're doing things with good intentions, you know, and good things will happen to you. People will come to you and naturally want to help you.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about sort of 316 and what you're doing with that.
Man, so I don't know if the world ready, but I hope they are, because it's that time.
Right.
So yeah, 316s. I am the creator of that. The, you know, the scope of it. I am the the brains of it, the executive of it. I'm working with a couple good friends of mine. Gerald Keys, who's the engineer for Ludacris, and also another friend that I'm working with on marketing, you know what I mean, out of Alabama, and she is doing her part, and we're all just basically building the team, a strong team behind this situation. And it's a new show, it's a hip hop series for all these independent artists that feel like they're ready for the industry, right? And you know, we always see the so to speak artist that's like, man, dog, I'll blow up, man, if 50 Cent see me or heard me, or you know. And so what I did is I created a platform to be able to give people these instant gratification moments. Like, for you to be able to be an artist and say you're ready, we're gonna see if you're ready, and you're gonna have the ability to show us that you're ready. And we'll have you know, celebrities involved as well. It's a studio audience, and this will be a televised show. It's gonna be super big. I can't wait for you guys, the world, to feel it, to see this. It's gonna be life changing, I think, for hip hop and the culture, because it's gonna be something I think will be here for, you know, 10 to 20 years, like American Idol or The Voice, and it'll help transition a lot of artists that need that exposure. It'll be like a record label for television.
Excellent. Well, I hope that you'll let us invite you back, you know, so you can promote it even more.
Oh yeah, definitely,
like
definitely, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
There are times that everybody sort of hits a rough patch or a bad day and things like that. How do you draw inspiration? How do you press on despite negative feedback or difficulties?
Yeah, that's a reality for life for anybody. We all, like, I mean, even millionaires, billionaires, you know, they deal with, you know, tragedies and deal with hardships in life and everything. It may not be financial, but it's different ways of having hardships in life. So I think we all have to have a sense of center ourselves and a balance within ourselves of knowing, like, okay, how to deal with a hardship is having balance in my life, to where, you know, through all my successes or whatever my life, wherever I am in my life, I have a balance of understanding, like, to always relish my relationships, relish my loved ones, always, you know, be honest to myself. So if something do happen, or if someone, God forbid, in my family I lose, or something happened to whatever, I don't feel like I wasted my life with them, or my time with them, or my gift with them. You know what I'm saying? And I hope vice versa, it would be the same for them, you know, with me. So that's really all I can do, is control my actions. You know, that's something my dad taught me. Rest in peace, Pops. You know, man, I love you. I lost my pops about 2 months ago, but you know, that's something I had to deal with and figure out how to overcome that and to still be able to triumph through that tragedy. So, you know, I'm personally dealing with that right now, but, you know, he's gave me the strength to be able to like say, you know what, go out there and show them, you know, go out there and do what you're supposed to do,
Right.
you know.
Tell us in what way you feel like maybe that message isn't even heralded enough. We have so many black fathers and whatnot who are phenomenal role models. Obviously your dad was to you. You're very positive, you're very giving. I see your whole family's here in the background showing you all that love and vice versa. Tell us about like the need for us to be able to see more of that, which hopefully we'll even get to see through your show. Just positive men doing the right thing.
I think we do need to be able to see more of that. You know, I think that's why we need to develop shows and things like that that can show, you know, black fathers in that light. You know what I'm saying? You know, my guy Billionaire Stanford, his father, you know, here with him, you know, pushing him. And that's why, you know, I have him today to work with him and do stuff like that. But it's, I think, you know, there's a lot of black fathers that's out there doing this for their kids, but this is not front page news. Good news is not good news no more. Bad news is good news. So it's like, this is a society that we live in now. I just think unless someone develops the platform to expose this and say, you know what, this is about fathers that's taking care of their kids and you know, doing the right things with their kids, and even outside of their kids, just in the community, being a pillar in the community, you know, being someone that people feel like they can always count on to give them real advice. You know, how often can we just get real advice from people? You know, everybody wants 1099 or 5099, you know, just to talk to them. You know what I mean? And it's like, this world has become so money hungry and greed, full of greed, man. It's hard to find good people, you know. So I try to keep my circle small and trying to just like have the discernment to just be able to be guided, you know what I mean, the right way. So keep yourself surrounded by good people, man, positive people.
Absolutely.
Not how many people, the quality of people.
Oh, sure. No, I sense that about you. Our show is called, and we ask this of everybody, Music and Medicine. And when you hear those kind of words put together, what does that mean to you?
Music and medicine, I mean, to me, it's therapy. You know, because, you know, music is therapy, you know, even for myself as an artist. When I'm writing, I don't care how many sales I have, it's therapy for me, you know. So, and medicine, you know, is therapy in itself, you know, whether you taking your, you know, your blunts to the head, or you popping a pill, or you whatever, you know, or you meditating, or you know what I'm saying, whatever is your medicine, you know, your vice or what have you, you know, and they both come together, it's all therapy for us. So I think it's a transition of self-centering, you know what I mean, being able to self-center yourself and have that balance, you know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely. And as you go out, one note or a positive pearl that you have for somebody that's coming up in the game, they're very energetic, they have a lot of energy, indie, maybe trying to find a way to get to be on your show and things like that. What are some of the encouraging words you would give that young kid today?
I would just say, honestly, believe in yourself and what your passion is. If you really have a passion for it, believe in yourself. And I know people say that a lot, but like, it's one of them things where like, you know, if you get knocked down 8 times, get back up 9. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going no matter what, because people are gonna shut doors on you, but it's another one gonna open. So you just gotta have faith, believe in yourself, and just stay around positive people that's like-minded, you know what I mean, as you know what I mean? So that way you don't have to you don't have to be discouraged when things don't necessarily go your way. You're not going to be as discouraged because the people around you is going to say, you know what, don't worry about that. You know, stay focused. You know what I mean? You got this. This is a part of life. This is a part of the industry. You know what I mean? So just keep going. And that's reality. So just continue to stay, I would say, persistent. That's what got me where I'm at, just being persistent and believing in myself, no matter who didn't, you know?
Absolutely. Were there some inspirations early in music? Obviously, you talked about some of the artists you work with, like Kid Capri. That really kind of inspired you, whether it was personally or you just looked up to them so much that also gave you some of that drive. Yes,
of course, man. I mean, first of all, my parents, you know, my mom always told me to go for the goal, and my dad was always by my side. You know, it was like my best friend. So both of my parents, but it's like, you know, just industry-wise, I would say I've been inspired since the LL Cool J's to the, you know, to the Rakims and to the Snoop Dogg's, to the Ice Cubes, to the, you know, the Slick Ricks, to the, you know, to the new age kids, you know what I'm saying, to some of these cats. So I got a lot of history in this industry, and it's just like now I'm kind of like paying it forward with the 316 show, and keeping that door open for hip hop and great artists. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely. Well, you're definitely an inspiration, and you've heard it from here from B-Smoove himself. I mean, there's so many positive brothers out there doing amazing things, and he's one of them, and working with several others. And I just think that we just can't see it enough. And so our hope is to continue to keep in touch with what he's doing and hear from you and what you're doing. I'm Dr. Lewis, your host of Music and Medicine. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and I hope we can keep the dialogue going about all the things you're up to, man. It's great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want to let all the fans know and your audience, make sure y'all go to TrueLegacyVodka.com. Make sure y'all check out our own black-owned product. Order you some vodka. It's the best vodka in the world. I promise you that. Also, 316s. I need you to go to Instagram and follow 316s. That's THREE 16s, the number 16s. All right, with the S. And then I'm the real B-Smoove on Instagram.
Amen. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate
it. Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
You. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
sir.